The second verse of Surah Al-Baqarah says, "This is the book about which there is no doubt, a guidance for those conscious of Allah." In truth, I have two questions here. The first question is, why did Allah emphasize in this verse that there is no doubt in the book, even though the book is truthful? I mean, the Quran naturally has no doubt in it, so why the emphasis that there is no doubt in it? That's one question. The second question is, do the pious need guidance? The pious meaning a guidance for the pious, I believe the guidance is for the sinners. For example, it would be guidance for the sinners, not for the pious, because the pious are naturally guided, as Allah has sealed their hearts. And on their hearing, on the heart and hearing, and on their eyes is a veil, and they will have a great punishment. Here, there is a divine will and sealing, meaning that Allah has sealed their hearts. So, what is their fault in this case? The question here is, what is the fault of those whom Allah has decided to seal their hearts? This is a point we must try to understand. I believe that the disobedient, Allah guides them. In this way, but they have already disbelieved, and whether you warn them or not, they will not believe. So Allah seals their hearts, as well as their hearing, both together on the heart and the hearing. So here, what is the wisdom behind this? This sealing of the hearts and the hearing, what is Allah's wisdom here? Well, the truth is also in the verse. They deceive Allah and those who believe, but they only deceive themselves and do not realize it. In their hearts is a disease, so Allah increases their disease. 9. They deceive Allah and those who believe, but they only deceive themselves and do not realize it. In their hearts is a disease, so Allah increases their disease. Here too, there is a divine will, in increasing the disease as Allah increases their disease. He is the one who increases their disease, just as He sealed their hearts a moment ago. So what is the wisdom? Can they resist Allah's will? No, they cannot resist Allah's will, neither in the sealing of their hearts and hearing nor in the increase of the disease. He increases, so Allah increases their disease. So, what is the wisdom behind Allah increasing the disease, sealing their hearts, and increasing their disease? You must ask. It says, when it is said to them, "Do not cause corruption on the earth," they say, "We are only reformers." Here, there is a debate between Allah and Him. When we say to them such and such, they respond with such and such. I just want to prove that there is a dialogue between Allah and humans, and that this Quran is the result of a debate between Allah and humans, not just from one side. All right. After that, Teltish 13. And when it is said to them, "Believe as the people have believed," they say in the debate, in the dialogue between Allah, when we say to them such and such, they respond with such and such. Verse 13. When it is said to them, "Believe as the people have believed," they say, "Shall we believe as the fools have believed?" Indeed, they are the fools, but they do not know. In a state of debate between the two, between Allah and the disbelievers, in a dialogue between the two, and as a result of this dialogue, this Quran came. 14. And when they meet those who believe, they say, dialogue as well. They say, "We believe," but when they are alone with their devils, they say, "Indeed, we are in a dialogue as well between the two, between Allah and Him." And this Quran is the result of this dialogue and this debate between the earth and the sky. 15. Allah mocks them and prolongs them in their transgression, wandering blindly. Well, Allah mocks them, and that's his response, and there's no problem with that. But he prolongs them in their transgression, wandering blindly, for he has sealed their hearts and their hearing, and he increases them in disease, and he prolongs them in their transgression, meaning he pushes them towards transgression, prolongs them in their transgression, like when you encourage someone towards evil. And no one has the power to oppose the will of God. Naturally, as long as there is a divine will to seal the hearts, increase the disease, and prolong the transgression, who can even try, let alone succeed, in opposing the will of God? It's impossible. There is no one. But the question is, what is the wisdom? What is the wisdom in sealing their hearts and their hearing? What is the wisdom in increasing their disease? And what is the wisdom in prolonging them in their transgression? These are truly regrettable questions. I also have a question, really. It means their example is like that of someone who kindled a fire. And when it illuminated what was around him, we are talking here about an individual, just one person. Their example is like that of someone who kindled, not those who kindled. Pay attention. Their example is like that of someone who kindled a fire, and when it illuminated what was around him. So we are talking about one person. Just one person kindled a fire, and when it illuminated what was around him, pay attention to the upcoming switch or change. We are currently talking about a singular, but when it shifts, it says, Allah took away their light, moving us from singular to plural. Again, their example is like that of someone who kindled, just one person, a fire. So when it illuminated what was around it, this is the second part of the verse. So when it illuminated what was around it, one only. Then comes the second part, the continuation, Allah took away their light and left them. Allah took away their light and left them. We are transferred to the form of paradise. In the darkness for those who see the truth. Here, too, is a question. So why did we transition from the singular form to the plural form in the same verse? Well, actually, verse 20. And here we will pause at verse 20. We will suffice with this amount of verses and questions for this episode, and God willing, in the next episode, next Friday, we will continue. It says, the lightning almost snatches away their sight. Whenever it lights up for them, they walk therein, and when darkness falls upon them, they stand still. And if Allah willed, He could have taken away their hearing and their sight. Indeed, Allah is over all things competent. Okay, there are two questions here, or rather one question. So, He has sealed their hearts, and He increased their disease, and He prolonged them in their transgression, wandering blindly in their transgression, wandering blindly in the words we mentioned before. So why here if? And if Allah willed, He could have taken away their hearing. So does if Allah willed mean He willed, or He didn't will? I want to know. And if Allah willed, He could have taken away their hearing and their sight. So why here? Why wouldn't Allah make His decision here, to take away their hearing and sight? Because He has already made decisive decisions and wills in the 3 American verses we mentioned, sealed, and increased their disease. Meaning, He sealed their hearts, it's final. He increased their disease, it's final. Also, He extends them in their transgression. He mocks them and extends them in their transgression, making them wander blindly. In any case, why here? Why is it conditional? And if Allah willed, He could have taken away their hearing and their sight. Why is it conditional? Meaning, why did He put a conditional tool here? And if Allah willed, He could have taken away their hearing and their sight. Indeed, Allah is over all things competent. He willed or he didn't will, meaning here the truth is. I just want to send a message to everyone that these are questions from someone who doesn't know the answers. I don't know the answer. And all the interpreters, all the explanations of the jurists, I'm sorry for using the term interpreters. Interpretation is known only to Allah. All the explanations of the jurists that I want did not raise these questions in the first place because they do not have the courage to ask. Asking requires bravery and boldness, even towards Allah Himself. So here, I am telling you, consider me a person with two qualities. 1, ignorant, and 2, confused. I mean, I am ignorant and confused, and I don't disagree with you on this, no problem. Just so you don't search your conscience too much and accuse or insult me, or something like that. Why not roll up your sleeves and open the Quran? And try to present a vision. I mean, we all need to try to present a new vision for the Quran because the ancients are not better than us. By the way, don't worry too much about the Arabic language, grammar, morphology, and so on. This has nothing to do with the Quran at all. This topic of the Arabic language is an invention. A very new topic, the subject of grammar and morphology, was developed by Al-Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi. Even the Quran itself was revealed without diacritics and without any dots at all. This is what the documents and manuscripts found in Yemen, Britain, and everywhere else prove. So anyway, don't worry yourself with this matter. Read the Quran in a very simple way and ask your questions boldly and courageously. Don't be afraid, don't fear God. God does not frighten anyone. Let's ask questions to open up the horizons, minds, and hearts of each other because the issue is complex for people. And religious men have taken God and the Quran for themselves, telling you, what do you know? You shouldn't speak. The Quran is as easy as can be, just so you know. This is the contemplation that God commanded. Don't just read the Quran and nod your head. Don't just memorize the Quran. Try to understand the Quran and ask questions about the Quran. That's the story, and that's the issue. Because most of the youth, even those who have questions in their minds and can't find answers, fear answering them. Ultimately, this leads to a terrifyingly high percentage of atheists in Arab countries. So why don't we open the closed box and speak openly? With boldness and courage. What's the problem? Is there any audacity in the questions I've asked at all? I'm just someone asking questions, and there's no problem with that. I admit to you that I don't know the answers. Of course, I accuse myself of being biased to save those who insult me the trouble of accusing me. But I'm not biased or anything. I'm just someone inquiring, nothing more, nothing less. Thank you very much, and I hope you all try to share this channel on your Facebook pages. Send it to your friends, and subscribe to it. We are trying to encourage people to ask questions, because there is not a single verse in the Quran that prevents a person from asking and inquiring. Thank you very much once again. Goodbye.